Hello, Hamid.
Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Great. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All
Our
right.
last class.
Yeah. The next one, establishing the daily practice. Who's teaching that?
I don't know. I thought maybe you were. I was going to ask you.
Those used to be my given daily, establishing daily practice, emptiness, and presenting the path, but they changed it this time. So I'm getting my next one is transforming problems.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's doing it. I know it starts next Monday, but I'll have to ask Linda.
Okay, you wanna make me a host?
I'll make you co-host here. It does. Yeah. It's on the calendar that it I just checked the calendar and it does say it starts next Monday.
Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can share my notes. Oops, 1 second. Oh, and
Yeah, he'll be here Friday and Sunday. Yeah. Yeah.
can you see my screen?
Yes, we've got you.
We got it. Now we're okay.
There's been quite a few coming in at the last minute, three or
Yeah,
four.
and Patty is going to be joining through YouTube because we are finding out that when she sits in the other room, sometimes there's a problem with my slide keeps changing or the sound is
Right,
not. So I told her to just join through YouTube or go upstairs.
right. Okay, that sounds good. All right, we'll just give it a few minutes here
Yeah,
while
yeah, yeah,
everybody logs in or comes in.
yeah. Yeah, it's we've had consistently the same people joining, and I'm hoping that this is helpful. That some topics are very interesting, some topics are pretty straightforward, but hopefully they can understand the depth of all these things.
Mhm. Geshe-la did made a couple of good references yesterday. He's been talking about Refuge quite a bit in the Sunday mornings, and then he referenced the three pots that you talked about.
Yeah,
So we've been getting some good reinforcement.
yeah, that's amazing. Sometimes he's like he's got the second, sixth sense to whatever's going on, he helps out. Yes, Tara.
Yep. Okay.
Hi, Tara.
Welcome.
Hi.
Yeah. hmm
Rainy. It's interesting. I can only see one, two, three, four, five, and Rainy just joined six people. Then after a certain time, my screen doesn't show more.
Okay. Welcome, Rainey.
Hey,
Are you,
Rainy.
Hi,
are you,
Eamon.
are you
Hi.
feeling better, Rainey?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the other side of the worst of it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Poor guy had COVID.
Hmm.
So,
My, not a good place to be sometimes when you have that.
I'm feeling much better now. Yeah, I feel like I caught it maybe on the way back from retreat, so I didn't have it while I was out of Vajrapani.
good. Good. And Ben, hi, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Hello, great to be here.
Good.
Okay. 3 more minutes. Let's just wait for 2 more minutes and then we can get
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. We may have a couple more trickle in here.
Linda coming
There's
in.
Linda and that should be Linda and Brad. Yep. There's Corey. Hey, Linda. Hey, Brad.
Hey, I guess you can't hear us if we're muted, right?
Yeah, there you are. We heard you. Good to see you again.
Hi, you too.
Guys,
Hi, how are you?
I am fine, Linda. How's Brad? How you doing?
Hello, what's that there?
All right, great. I think we have all the troops now that we can get going.
Oh gosh, we were almost late, weren't we? Sorry.
No,
No,
no.
no,
You're fine. 6:58.
yeah, we're
Okay.
good. Plenty,
Okay.
plenty of time to spare.
Okay, great. I'm going to mute us.
Fine.
You think?
Okay. There's Jeevan joining us. Hi, Jeevan. Here in the Kadampa.
Good. And Jennifer just joined.
Jennifer, welcome, Jennifer. So just a update, this is the last class of Refuge in the Three Jewels with Haymet. We will be starting next Monday night immediately, no break, with establishing a daily practice. There is someone teaching it, however, I do not know who it is.
I can find out.
Yeah, we'll find out from Linda and yeah,
Okay.
I
Well,
thought it might have been Haymet, but he says it's not him. So
yeah, I typically teach those daily, establishing daily practice, presenting the path, so the Lamrim path, and then the emptiness. And this time, Linda reached out to everyone and said, "Hey guys, which classes are you teaching?" And the teachers didn't say too much. We just said whatever, and then she just assigned. And so I got all three new ones. So I'll be teaching in March again, and that is the transforming the problems. And so again, it will change again. So never know. But I've been teaching emptiness and establishing the daily practice for a while now. So any no problem. I think it will be wonderful. It's a great experience to have different perspectives and different teachers teaching it. It's good for you.
Could we still call you if we have?
Yes, any of the modules, if you have any questions, feel free to talk to me. I will do two things. If I know it well enough, I will be more than happy to share. And if there's a question that gets deeper and I even feel like I'm not the proper person, we can always ask Geshe-la, and I usually will call him up, talk to him, and then I can respond back. So there's always ways to work around this. But yes, we are here to help each other. Always. That is the idea.
Thank you.
I almost always tell people we are on the same train. We just may have different stations and different breakpoints, but we're on the same ride. So anyways, it is after 7 o'clock. So let's start. This is the last module. Last session of the module, Refuge in the Three Jewels, number 4. And so I want to start first by thanking you guys for joining the class and being part of this journey. And it really is I'm really appreciative of everybody of hanging in there and putting up with what I have to say. So with that, Let's start with prostrations. I have pictures here, depending on if you want to do a full prostration, half prostrations, or if you're sitting in a chair, you can at least go to the 4 places and say Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Tamashriye, Soha. Om Namo Manjushriye. Again, by doing this, you are respecting the teachings and the triple gem, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. It's humbling oneself, developing good qualities and admiration. And it is, again, usually optional based on your comfort level, but at least you should, this is what it means, okay?
One question.
Yeah,
So when we are here, here, we repeat that 3 times. Is that correct? Or is
that's
there?
correct. So you will say Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Uttamashriye, Soha. That is the mantra, right? So Namo means prostration. I prostrate to. Manjushriye means I pay homage to or prostrate to Manjushri. Manjushri in Tibetan means soft, gentle, and one that has ceased disturbing thoughts, delusions, and obscurations. And then the next Namo is prostration to glorious goodness, which is considered a Hinayana level, just one, and then higher level, Uttama Sriye Shoha, glorious supreme sublimity, Mahayana path. So all 3 paths are in this, lower scope, middle scope, and higher scope. Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Uttamaashriye, Soha. Okay, that's the mantra.
I was missing the last, so I was missing the Soha.
Oh, Soha. Uttamaashriye, Soha. So be it.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is the correct one. Let's see, go. Okay, so plan for today. We'll do our typical calm abiding meditation. Again, look at that refuge prayer. And this time I have a module recap, general points, but I've turned it into a question and answer. So what I've done is I've actually posed a question, then I'll go and give you the key points. I'm not going to teach you the entire 4 sessions, so the main points. So if you can retain some of those things, that is the most important if it's beneficial for you. And hopefully some of your questions or some things you may have not remembered from the last classes, we'll try and cover those, okay? So then we'll introduce the final topics. There's nothing very small. Criteria for correct refuge, advice regarding refuge practice. Once you take refuge, then how do you move forward? Some 6 general precepts we'll talk about. And then again, we will end with a nice meditation and dedication. And the meditation is on Sakyamuni Buddha. And if you have time and you want to have any questions, we'll have Q&A also. Okay, so that's fine. So whichever way it works for you, that is the plan. So let's start by bringing our mind here to the class today. And I don't see anybody new, but at least you know the posture about where to keep your legs, arms, head, jaw and mouth are relaxed. Okay, tongue rests lightly on the upper palate. Eyes are slightly shut or slightly open. And of course, with your arms loose, your left hand is in the bottom, right hand is on top, and you touch your thumbs. The main idea is to keep your back slightly straighter, not rigid, just straight. It allows the wind channels to work properly. And then relax and scan your body. Just make sure you're not holding any tensions. And the idea is to focus on your breath. Very natural, no force required. Okay, just natural concentration on your breath. Okay, some people like to focus on their abdomen going in and out, and some people like to focus on near their nostrils when they can feel the little tingling around their nostrils. There's two reasons for this meditation. One is it teaches us concentration. And what that means is you're focusing on the breath. There is no story. There is no narrative. You're simply keeping your focus right on the breath. you will find occasionally your mind starts to drift. A thought will come, a color will come, something will happen, and there you go following it. The idea is to remind yourself gently to bring your mind back to the breath. So this teaches us concentration. And when you concentrate on one neutral thing, such as breath or one object, then you're not thinking of something else. And that also gives you 1 point concentration practice. So let's do that for just a minute or two, okay? Now that your little mind is a little calmer, let's do your motivation. So keep your mind right in there to make this time together this evening a Dharma action, something worthwhile for ourselves and others. It is important to listen with a good motivation. The best motivation is to listen to the teachings with a wish to practice them in order to overcome the disturbing thoughts in our mind, which cause us suffering now and in future. We can also wish to develop the potential of our mind so that not only do we experience greater and greater happiness, but we achieve perfect happiness, our true enlightened nature, and develop all qualities that enable us to be of deep and lasting benefit to every living being. So you can bring your mind back to the class. Again, this is the last session on taking refuge. So when we say these words, it's important. Again, I think I've repeated this every class, but just to key points. It's a formal vow to follow what? A Buddhist path. It provides us what? Hope, protection, guidance. It symbolizes our inner development, right? Aspiration to become Buddha and purify our karma. If you can take that away and just think about these words, how important it gives us a direction. Our mind is all over the place sometimes, but when we take refuge or when we say this refuge prayer, it is giving us a direction. And we've seen Geshe-la start every class, and then we follow him, right? He always says, Sangye Chodan Choki Chokdamla Zanchuk Bardu Dagni Kyapsuchi. He says that. It's exactly the same words in English. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly, the three jewels, because they're precious. By my practice, so that means you need to practice, of giving and other perfections, the morality, the joyful effort, the patience, developing concentration, developing understanding emptiness. Those are all things we need to develop, perfections. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. It has everything in it. So it's a path. It's a direction for us, okay? So that's your refuge prayer. So then the question is, what is taking refuge, right? So this is a question that we started with, and I'm not going to go into every single detail, but you should at least know that according to Buddhism, I mean, even if you take a look at your dictionary meaning, it says it provides anything that provides shelter or protection or a recourse in difficult times. So it's again, putting a meaningful direction, right, to overcome shortfalls, changing like state of our mind to bring us happiness, provides protection. So that all those things, that's how the Buddhist view of this protection is, or recourse in difficult time, right? So that is like taking refuge. It certainly is the entrance to the path. You kind of choose yourself that this is something I will do. Why? Because it will benefit me, and maybe I have a potential to become a Buddha or lasting happiness. I will follow this. So that commitment comes from your inner being. Okay, so that is the refuge, entrance to the path. Now, practice leads to what? What is the end result? It leads to liberation and enlightenment, an awakening state. Okay, so that's the reason for taking refuge. We talked about the worldly refuge. Ever since childhood, we run to our mothers when we want to hide some place or take protection. And then when we grow up saying, Mom, you can't help me, so I go to my friends, hang out there for a while. Then that doesn't work. Maybe we start taking some drugs or alcohol or games or food or whatever. We have all kind of refuges that we go to temporarily, thinking it will give, and if they do, they might even give you some peace of mind for a short period, right? And what happens is we start chasing in our life these 8 worldly concerns. So let's see if I have a slide on that, and then we'll talk about this. Okay, so we just like I talked about it, we seek refuge for escaping suffering. And these are the worldly refuges are like running to the mother, going to the friend, and so forth. So the 8 worldly concerns are these pairs of 4 things that we are constantly chasing. Pleasure, we are chasing pleasure, we are avoiding pain. We want gains, we don't want loss. We want fame, we don't want disgrace. We want praise, we don't want blame. This is not to say that it's all you don't want pleasure or you don't want gain. We 100% chase after it 24 hours a day. Now that becomes a problem because it's a temporary pleasure. It becomes the pleasure becomes pain very soon, right? Gain can become loss. So then we can't handle it. It's temporary. So it's not saying that you can't have happy moments in your life, but it usually leads to anxiety. When you chase after it crazily, look at people going crazy in jobs, right? Work, 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 work. Or when they do something and they are so chasing so much to gain something. In the end, we'll age and it will stop, it will go away. Friends will change, families will change, jobs will change, homes will change. So all these things that we go crazy after, but this is what it's all about. And most of it is a good reputation. People want good reputation and they want to avoid bad one, which is understandable, but that's what we chase after. Those are the 8 worldly concerns. And what you need to know is it's our mind. So we need to think about it. All the source of suffering is where? Our mind, right? So that's when we meet Buddha Dharma, we start to discover that the source of suffering comes from our mind and is related to karma, which we'll cover. And I need to do something. So you decide to make a change in your life. So you say, okay, I'm going to take refuge. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go and start to destroy my disturbing thoughts, or let's minimize them and develop virtuous qualities and better thoughts. So that's basically what it is. It comes down to that's the radical change we are talking about. So again, for your purposes of looking at the 8 worldly concerns, here they are. It causes us a lot of distorted view because we chase after them like crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, we've got a question from someone here in the Kadampa.
Sure.
Hey, Hemant, with the 8 worldly concerns, could you think of renunciation as like a refuge from this 8 worldly concerns? And then if you could also give advice for practicing renunciation for the people attending this class.
Sure. So let's think of renunciation. People may have some story in their mind that you need to start wearing robes and go in the cave and I'm renunciating the life. That is not what they're talking about. A renunciation means yearning to become Buddha, yearning to remove disturbing thoughts, thinking about these problems with our samsara, or this birth, aging, sickness, death, this cyclic existence. And you don't know, right now you may have a human form with some happy moments in life. We are not saying everything is horrible. You've had good karma and bad karma, right? So we are here, we are in human form. But to renunciate means to recognize, I have this opportunity to change course. When you take a refuge, you are doing that. You are committing yourself, to doing something about your own life and your direction of your life, so that you can renunciate from this cyclic existence and move towards lasting happiness. That's where this is. So it's okay. We can understand, when we live in this world, everything is conventional, which we'll talk about in a moment, but everything is pleasure, pain, gain, loss, fame, disgrace, praise, and blame. We circle in that all the time. How about the ultimate nature? Once you see that that's the conventional way of life. However, I want to go to the higher self. I want to become Buddha. I want to recognize my potential. So you develop this renunciation that I'm not going to put myself into this all the time. I'm going to start practicing, start to think how I can change affect my karma to become positive, and so with that comes wisdom, with that develops compassion, and then you start working on what they call method or perfections, being generous, patient, have morality, developing joyful effort, developing concentration, and seeing the world as it exists, the reality. So when you develop that, you are in essence moving towards a better state of mind. I hope I answered some of that. Is that okay, Jeevan?
Yes, he's good. Thank you. Any other questions at this point while we have the break? If you're online, just unmute.
Okay. Should I move on?
Yes, I think we're good.
Okay, good. So then this is a question that may come up. Okay, what's a reliable refuge? So you can pop up in your head and say, oh, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Okay, so that's fine. But we need to make sure, and you analyze, you look into it. There are many things available, many things out there, but you need to really check and see, like Geshe-la says, like when you buy gold, you need to really polish it, chew it, make sure this is going to work, and look and be very mindful of that. And so then you can need to look for a path that shows us how to develop our mind, subdue disturbing thoughts, develop positive qualities, and we need to rely on someone who has great experience, because they have freed their own mind through practice and real hard work for almost all their life, and that is the Buddha. Right? That's a perfect refuge, because Buddha means what? His name was not Buddha. We see Buddha statues in all kinds of stores. We're not talking like that. Buddha actually means the awakened one, the enlightened state. That's what Buddha is. We've just given it a label, Buddha. When you see some statue like that, you say, oh, that's a Buddha. Buddha is that state. Okay? His name was Shakyamuni or Gautama Siddhartha, right? But he became enlightened. And so because he is Buddha, that means he's free of faults and possessing every positive quality. Perfect mind. And if a perfect mind is teaching you, that's what we need to take refuge in. But we can't meet Buddha, so we go to teachings, to the Dharma. And we know Buddha is fearless. Why? He's conquered all that. There's no fear left, so he's fearless, right? And you can see that in so many ways we learn about, that he's even given us the four opponent powers. For example, if you want to get out of your disturbing thoughts of fear and anxiety and all that, he talks about the regret, the reliance, and then remedy. He's given us the remedy and resolve. And what do they? This is the way you function. Whenever you get a disturbing thought, you say, I regret that this keeps on coming up. I must have a really bad habit of having this pop up all the time. I'm going to work on it. So you decide to work on it for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. Okay. So that is called regretting, not guilty. You're not saying, oh, poor me, oh, look at me, I'm so horrible, I'm terrible. No, you move it aside and say, I'm going to move forward. So that's a regret, very important one. Then you rely on your triple gem Buddha, Dharma, and teachings. So you read, you understand it. How would I solve this? What is there in the Lamrim that can help me? So that's called reliance. The remedy is to apply antidotes to the non-virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. If anger arises, what do I do? If something else happens, I stole something, what do I do? So there's negative thoughts and there are antidotes. So you apply antidotes. Okay, so it gives you, and then what happens, you realize how everything is connected. We right now is me and you and that and this, but for Buddha, everything is in one taste, right? So he has compassion for all, and he's there to help us all. It doesn't matter what state of mind. If you ask and study and do meditation and request, you will get the same help as I would. So he works for all. So that's the reliable refuge. Okay. So then in the end, what happens? You rely on Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and then you develop the wisdom from hearing the Dharma. And then from that from there, wisdom of contemplation of Dharma arises. From the wisdom of contemplating the Dharma comes the highest wisdom, the ultimate wisdom, by concentrating on a single pointed concentration. And then that's when your mind will remove the disturbing thoughts and you yourself will gain the ultimate state that you're seeking for. So this is what it is. This is not a God giving you blessing. They don't talk about somebody touching you and a magic will happen. Even if your teacher can hold your hand, of course you get inspired by holy beings. And they are there to teach you and help you, but you walk the path. When you walk the path, they will guide you all the way. This guidance is there. Okay, so that's the best part of this particular path, is they're giving you step-by-step path to follow, to remove disturbing thoughts, develop positive qualities, and reach your ultimate goal. So this everybody should know by now. I'm not even going to say that at this point we should know the 3 jewels, right? Is simply that you rely on somebody who has actually gone through it. That His Holiness Dalai Lama always says the most important is the teachings, and who can help you? The Sangha members. So you need to support them. And of course, the metaphor they always give you is the doctor, the medicine, and the nurse, right? So kind of keep that in the mind, easy way to remember it. So there you go. So what are the qualities of the 3 jewels? And you can at least know that for Buddha, one of the qualities of Buddha is what? Is perfected every quality. So all wisdom, all compassion. So like they say, there are 2 wings of the bird, has wisdom and compassion. They become omniscient. Okay, that means knowing all things, and they're omnipresent. They're all the time. Here's the good part. The Buddhas, when they reach that state, they can see conventional reality and ultimate reality both at the same time. That's how evolved that mind is. Perfect mind. Okay, so they can see both. And even bodhisattvas, until they become enlightened, they can focus on one or the other, not both at the same time. But Buddhas are able to do that. And of course, the quality of the Dharma, you should know, it teaches you all how to reach that, gain that wisdom. Okay, it teaches you about the conventional phenomena. It teaches you about how dependent arising things are and what is causes and effects, the karma, how it works, how we label things. It teaches you highest wisdom. So you also yourself. So that is very important. And obviously, we need to also know that all of our Sangha members, they have taken they're ordained and they've taken vows of renunciation, non-attachment, courage. They have wisdom, loving and kindness. They're developing generosity, pure. They're living by the vows. And so they are they're your guides. Every time anything comes up, they will only help you. And look how lucky we are to have our venerable nuns, which are with us. So many times they are teaching you classes. We also have Geshe-la, Geshe Sampo, and we have others that visit us. We have Western teachers here, and we have Tibetan teachers here. So this is an amazing, I would say, I don't know, some good karma in our life for us to be able to connect with these opportunities. So please take advantage of that. Okay. So we talked about that. What are the benefits of taking refuge? Tell me, this is the key slide. I would say if you want to really think about, talk about it, this is what I would like you to think about. Okay, so number one, we become an inner being. So think about that. When you take a commitment and you said, I am going to change my life, I'm going to improve my life, I want to become a Buddha, I want to see what my potential is, and you make a change in your mind. Just think, even being an inner being, before you hurt something, your mind says, I shouldn't be doing that. Before you take something knowingly or unknowingly, something will tell you, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Here, let me put it back. It's already, that has to come from inside you. So it is your commitment and your inner being. And guess what? You take the responsibility. We become inner being. That's one benefit of taking refuge. We take vows that can protect us. Okay, so think about it. It forces us in a good way, voluntarily, to be mindful of what we are doing in our daily life. Like I just said, am I doing something wrong? Am I lying in some way? So it forces us to be more sensitive, right? So think about that. It makes you mindful. It reduces mental afflictions, right? So think about that. For not only that, going back to the protecting us, we take lay vows, right? I will not kill, I will not steal, things like that, right? We say those things. So when you've taken those vows, it is protecting you. The minute you take the vows, you've already spontaneously changed your life. You've told yourself, I will make an effort to do this genuinely. And that is the real refuge. I mean, if you're taking it for intellectual purposes, I can't talk to your mind at this point. But when you take it from your heart and saying, I'm gonna make an attempt. Will we make mistakes? Absolutely, we'll make mistakes because we are habituated with certain things. So don't feel guilty. Move forward. Remember, regret, rely, remedy, and resolve. 4 R's, same thing. And rejoice when you do something good. Always keep those 4 reliances, opponent powers in your mind. That's being inner being and taking vows, mental afflictions, and you start to purify your karma. By doing that, reduce mental afflictions and purify karma. Okay, so let's see. I want to make sure I get all the points. Okay, then create merits. What's a merit? We hear this in Buddhism all the time. If you do the bowls in the Kadampa, you're generating merits. Oh, if you do something for somebody in the Kadampa, or you do this or that, that's a merit. What's a merit? So just like we have a bank balance, we take dollar by dollar and put in the bank, and that we are generating funds for future use. A merit is a positive imprint left on your mind by virtuous and dharma activities, the principal cause for happiness. So everything we are talking about, being an inner being, losing the disturbing thoughts, being kind, being compassionate, developing wisdom, benefiting all sentient beings. We use these words like all the time. What are those? Those are merits. A positive imprints in your mind. So when this body goes and the mind kind of continues on, those imprints is what will give your next existence. If you believe in that, then that will be the next existence will be a positive one. It will only take you towards Buddhahood, right? So remember to gain merits. Okay, so we create merit, we protect our mind, right? If mind starts to get disturbing thoughts, if you've taken refuge as saying stop. I remember I give an example I used to give is when I used to drive to work and I was late and somebody cut you off. Boy, I didn't care how many malas or how many mantras I did. My temperament went all the way up here real quick, right? After I took refuge, I started to think I started to make up things that maybe that person had an interview. Maybe his father or son or daughter or mother just had sickness, had to go to hospital. And maybe I'm making this story up in my mind. So there is no reason for it. And it helped me because my refuge told me there's no, you get angry is not going to benefit anybody. It's only going to disturb your own mind, nobody else. And you might get angry and even cause more problems. So calm down. So it helps. As soon as you take refuge, you start to protect your mind. Of course, if you worry about lower realms, according to Buddhism, we are a human realm. There's also hell or ghost realms and the higher realms, God realms. But even if you believe or not believe, state of mind. Think about state of mind. I give you examples I gave you last class is there are people right now in a state of mind. You don't want to be in that state of mind, always fearful, not in a good state, hungry, dying, children are dying in a very bad state, right? That's also karma playing out, right? So you don't want to be in that state of mind. And the only way to get out is to develop positive states of minds. So, and it forces us to practice and accomplish more. You will see the results. As soon as you start practicing, you start to see the results. So you accomplish more. And then as you really accomplish more, then more quickly you realize enlightenment. Make sense? So remember this 8. You don't have to remember every single one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but remember inner being, how it reduces mental afflictions, how it protects your mind, how you create merits, and how it helps you realize enlightenment. That's the main benefit of taking refuge. Those, I should say. And there are 3 levels, not too much to talk about. When you first take refuge, you're thinking about, I want a better life. That's refuge number 1. That's called basic level. Okay. Then there is a second level called middle level. You realize that even in samsara, even if you were to get a little better birth in a God realm, you will not be able to practice too much. You get too lazy and you got all the luxuries of life, and eventually those merits will run out and you're back cycling through the up and down of the birth, the death, the aging, and all that cyclic existence. What you want is the ultimate refuge, is to become Buddha to benefit others. That's the ultimate refuge. And the most essential teaching that will take you there is understanding laws of cause and effect, karma. Remember, you want to, as you function on a day-to-day basis, we work very hard at creating positive karma and reducing negative karma of body, speech, and mind. And I'm sure we all know all of them by heart, but the 3 of the body are killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, in other words, keeping moral conduct. The other ones of the speech, lying, divisive speech, using words that harm others, okay? Then harsh words, using mean causes conflict, okay? Idle gossip. And then mind, covetousness, harmful intent, and wrong views, okay? Those are the body, speech, and mind. I typed it up here just in case somebody had a question. So remember that. That's the most essential teaching, and what we need to do is apply antidotes to them, okay? And so, here they're talking about commitments and all that, but these are not what I'm talking about the commitments of not killing and not lying and not stealing and all that. I'm talking about the taking proper commitment internally. Okay, there's two types of refuge. So what happens is, like, if you have not taken refuge yet, there's a spontaneous wish to follow this. That's your internal refuge. And then there's a formal ceremony in which Geshe-la or whoever your teacher is sits down and gives you precepts for the day. In the morning, you take precepts, and then it goes through a ceremony, beautiful ceremony. You get a Tibetan name. It is, again, it represents that you're changing, your radical change. You're making a change in your life. You're committing to move forward and become a Buddha yourself. So those are the two types of refuge you're talking about. So I'm not particularly in here talking about that you need to, these are the 5 commitments you need to take right now. But those are the 5 commitments. If you want to know, what is it? No killing, no lying, no stealing, sexual misconduct, and intoxicants. And you don't have to take all 5 of them, by the way. You can take 1 or 2. You can say, I'll work on it. Okay, so you can take the 4 if you wanted to. Make sense? And we all know that we won't change overnight. Okay, this is a lifetime practice, moment to moment practice. So you need to always know that mistakes will take place. You take refuge, and I will, in the end, I'll tell you up front though, that when you really, really are serious about this, you should do 3 prostrations in the morning, or take refuge in the morning and take refuge in the evening, at least that much. 3 times is the best, but morning and evening, if you take refuge and think of the words you're saying. I always tell that we get used to saying this, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and we say that because I'm hungry, I need to say it quickly, but that is not the idea. The idea is just at least the 3 times. Nobody said they say it 3 times. You know why they say it 3 times? The first time your mind is still somewhere else. Second time, maybe you're telling your mind, I should pay attention to what I'm saying. And third time, maybe you will pay attention to what you're saying. That's why we say it 3 times. Otherwise, it's fine to say it 1 time. Okay, so remember that. So it is 7:39. We have 10 minutes or so before we do meditation. So I want to cover this. How criteria for correct refuge. Let me see if I have some notes I took any on this. I may have taken some notes. Okay, so some little things we need to practice. Okay, once you take refuge, everything related to the 3 gems, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, is viewed pure. In other words, you don't take your books, your sadhanas, your practice books, and sit on them. You don't put them on the floor. If you see a Buddha, you internally bow down. If you see your teacher in the mall, you don't have to prostrate in the mall, okay? But in your heart, you do prostrations. You say, oh my gosh. If you're walking in the street and see any of the holy objects, you show your humbleness. In other words, what are you doing? You are changing your mind. You are developing your confidence and faith. You're developing your pure qualities. Dualistically, it seems bizarre, isn't it? Oh, it's a statue. Well, I'll put it in the bathroom. It looks nice in the corner. Think about that for a second. That's our dualistic view, because we're thinking about making the house look pretty. But in your mind, you've taken a refuge in everything Buddha stands for, the Dharma stands for, and also what Sangha stands for. So what happens? You take inner refuge and you start to see those things and saying, I should at least, if not at all, at least give them some respect, put them in a higher place, right? So think in those terms. So you're practicing all the time. Make offerings. When you come to temple or when you go to Geshe-la, offer some flowers if you can. It's never a force. Nobody's telling you, even mentally you can offer it, right? You don't have to go and buy expensive stuff all the time, but you can bring 1 flower, or you can offer it with your mind that I offer you everything. So you can do a mental offering, okay? Show respect, offer service to the Buddha, the statue to the Kadampa, for example. So these are, what are you doing? You're creating merits, virtuous mental states of mind, positive qualities. Remember, you're developing merits. And this is why the altars exist. They are not decorations. This is for us to practice and gain merits. This is why we volunteer. People go and say, I'll do the water bowls, I'll clean up this. There's a Tara Puja, I'll help you with doing that. We do that to develop good merits, right? So we do that. So that is one criteria you should think about. You should practice Buddha's teachings. Even tiniest practice will, believe it or not, it only increases your merit and good qualities. Even a little bit that you do, even a thought will help you, because those thoughts will multiply. You can offer lights, water bowls, flowers, incense, and what it does, it in the end, it creates a strong conviction and faith, right, in the teachings, and it becomes a focal point for you. So remember, if you have a problem, there is a solution in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And if you're having good time, wonderful, but rely on Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Dharma is the answer for people who have taken refuge. Okay, then there's a quick note, what to avoid and what to do. Okay, so there's a lot of things out there. Once you've taken a refuge and have said, okay, here's my teacher, I'm taking refuge, it's not saying you cannot go and study. It does not say if it is part of your lineage teaching, fine, go at it, right? But be careful, because there are a lot of people who develop their own thing in Arizona and Utah and stuff like that. You go for some practice and they lure you in and all that. So you want to keep it clean in your lineage teachings. You've taken a refuge, and remember the teachings of the Lamrim and your Gelugpa teachings. It keeps us in check. You don't want to create a soup and then get confused later on. That's the whole idea, okay? Make sure you're not harming living beings, including insects, knowingly. Okay, we breathe air, so we are breathing in bacteria. But there's a difference between, remember the 4 points of karma? There has to be an object, there has to be a motivation, there has to be a satiation of doing something and completing the act that makes it a full karma. So just knowingly be mindful of that. Keeping company with negative friends is to avoid, because they will say, hey, you guys are crazy. I think this is not right, and I don't believe it. Instead of guiding you, instead of helping you, it becomes something negative. So be mindful of that. If you're truly committed to becoming a Buddha and you've taken a refuge, then you've made that commitment. And I'm hoping that you've analyzed it, and after that, you've come to a decision to do that. So what you want to do is 2-3 years down the road, you start to teeter-totter and go checking 20 other things out. So be mindful of that. If you want to do that, that's your call. But they say to try and avoid that. To do is to cultivate respecting for Buddha images, respecting all Dharma text, and respect ordinary monks and nuns. Remember, they have taken vows, and they are much ahead of us in many ways. Then there are several types of vows. We take lay vows, they take higher vows. There are bodhisattva vows, there are ordained monks vows, there are root vows that they take. And there are like so many vows, 48 plus. And then there's Tantrayana vows. So they live under a very hard commitment. And so they are there to benefit you. So make sure of that, okay? So when we take a precept, I think this is the last slide before we go into meditation, I believe. Okay, so when we take a precept, right? When Geshe-la says, I'm going to give you a refuge, in the morning you go at 5:30 before the sunrise and you take a precept. What the benefit of a precept is, it's a purification of negative karma. Okay, so it's for your spiritual growth. Okay, it's a moral discipline. So it enhances your spiritual practice. It's like living in a day of a monk's life. So what you do is you say, I will not kill, I will not steal, I will not lie, I will not use intoxicants, I will not sit on the high luxurious seats, all ego feeding, And I will not wear a lot of perfume and jewelry and all that. In other words, I have a simple day for 24 hours. I'll keep myself more focused on my practice. So you kind of make a little strong commitment, then take a refuge. And what it has a tremendous benefit. So those are the 6 principles. But what here we are talking about is also always remember in your mind the qualities of the triple gem. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, about the compassion, about the wisdom, about what Buddha is, enlightened state of mind, perfect quality, omniscience, omnipresent. Those words should resonate with you when you're thinking about qualities, enlightened qualities of Buddhas and Dharma and Sangha. Okay? And it will inspire you. It will develop faith and inspiration for you. And then, as I mentioned, take your refuge 3 times in a day, at least in the morning and in the evening. You should do that at least. Okay, when you offer food, for example, you can offer to the Buddhas, you can offer to the teachers. Visualize in your mind a Buddha and teacher sitting there and offer them. And then once the food becomes a nectar, you are taking it in. And look at what you're doing. You're teaching your mind that you're taking in the nectar of Dharma. You're teaching in the benefits of the Dharma and the teachers. So you are only benefiting your own mind. This is the way it works with your mind. Okay? So that is one thing you can do. And if somebody is already committed to the Buddha Dharma and is wanting to take refuge, and they are still trying to gain answers, work with them, talk with them, and see what their questions, and lead them to some right people or Geshe-la that can help them understand if they have any questions, if they're hesitating. And haven't taken refuge, never give up. You will have bad days, you will have good days. Our aging body sometimes does not cooperate, so we'll have problems. However, never give up. You move on, keep doing it, and you will see the results of it, because it will tame your mind in such a way. It will benefit, the right word is, it will benefit your mind, that when the time comes to move on, your mind will rely on Dharma. And that's where your mind will go. It's 7:49. I have a meditation and dedication. So I purposely ended a little early, thinking if you have any specific questions related to taking refuge, then I would be more than happy to answer. If not, we'll do a really nice meditation, a dedication, and then we will call it. So refuge is a little more than just kneeling on one knee and having a hard time and have to put pillow and back hurts and say a few words in Tibetan. There's a lot of thought, lot of commitment, lot of pure mind that has to go, and you are making an effort to change your life, that radical change that we talked about. And now you're taking a direction. Remember the definition, to becoming an inner being, to purify and remove the disturbing thoughts. So I purposely let the recap be the question and answer type thing. So if people have questions, you would know the answer. And remember the 8 benefits of taking the refuge. Okay, those are the key pieces that we wanted to remember. And if you're planning to take the formal FPMT program of taking refuge, these will come in. These questions will be asked. Benefits of taking refuge, for example, you should be familiar with that. What are, for example, what causes you to take refuge? Remember, in the first 2 classes talked about, first is the fear, right, of dying and not knowing. And then second thing is you analyze and you develop confidence in Buddha Dharma. So you have a hope. So that's the first reason for taking the refuge. And then you develop the 3 basic types of basic level, then the higher level, and then the ultimate refuge in becoming a Buddha. And then you develop positive qualities. Okay. So let's do this.
Excuse me, Hemant,
Yeah.
we do have a question here in the Kadampa from Jeevan.
Sure.
Just a second.
Sure.
Heyman, what do you think is there a relationship between the idea of refuge and this concept of devotion? And do you think that it's helpful to think of these two things as related to each other or not?
I would say it's a positive quality. There's, in Buddhism, one thing that is very, my personal attraction to it is very pragmatic. Devotion, faith, beliefs, these are sometimes these words are blind by themselves because you have to believe in something you may not know, right? But think about Buddha Dharma. They're saying, check it out, analyze, sit down, work on it, take some time, go through that Q&A. And when you develop that and when you have confidence, then that is a faith. With faith and practice comes devotion. Then you feel it, then you sense it, then you can see it, then you see the results of it, and only you know that. And when you do know that, nobody's going to shake you. That develops devotion. Okay, so you can see it's a progressive states of mind, right? It's a positive states of mind. If you just use the words as a label, it may throw you two different ways. Well, what do you mean devotion? Devotion to who? Right? But when you say refuge, I truly think Buddha and Dharma and Sangha will help me, guide me. And I have analyzed this. I have gone through all the teachings, trainings, Lamrim, and I've looked through it. I've meditated on it. I have talked to some people, and I think this is very sound. This is going to help me, and it's going to benefit me in many ways. And I'm going to commit now. Now comes developing that faith. Now comes devotion. And then it's your journey. So yes, I would say that they can be related depending on your commitment to refuge.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We're going to do a meditation. But let me explain to you first a couple of things I find very interesting here. When you see the word mantra, Tayatha Om Mune Mune Mahamune Soha, couple of ways to look at it. In Buddhism, always there is a lower scope thinking, middle scope thinking, higher scope thinking, okay? So, for example, Tayatha it is like this. Om is body, speech, and mind, right? Mune means a sage, a wise one. Then a second Mune is again a wise one. Mahamune is a great wise one. Soha, so be it. Or hail to you, or hail to you. Okay, it's a kind of giving somebody a lot of respect. So in this way, you can say Mune was Buddha, Mune is Buddha, Mahamune was a great Buddha, and so be it. That's another way of look at it. Now look at it a third way. Lower scope, Om Mune, teaches you the first, the lower scope of Lamrim teaches you about what the qualities of the teacher, precious human rebirth, the refuge. Remember those things? That's like the Om Mune. Second scope, you start thinking about, renunciation, emptiness, the suffering, the Four Noble Truths. That's the second Mune. Mahamune, the third scope. Now you're talking bodhicitta, the six perfections, all these kind of things. So you can see that even in a simple mantra, there's a lot of scopes in there. There's a lot of meaning in there. And it's not only that, when you visualize and you get one-pointed concentration on the Buddha, and you're thinking of the qualities of the Buddha that you want to gain, that state of mind. So your mind is now focused on not only the scope and the teaching, but the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And therefore it becomes Om Mune Mune Mahamune Soha. It's in the threes all the time. Tayatha, and you can say Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Soha. Om Bekanse Maha Bekanse Soha. You see that many times in the threes like that. So be aware of that. Tayatha Gate Gate Paragate Soha, right? So this is what you want to remember. So in the meditation, we're going to use this mantra. So I wanted to at least explain the little meaning, because a lot of times we learn these things and we don't understand them, right? So let's just prepare yourself. Again, relax, keep your back straight, get in that meditative state, and just take a couple of deep breaths and relax your body, keeping the back straight, okay? Just for a minute or two. Again, if distractions arise, be aware of them without getting involved and without judgment, and gently bringing the attention back to the breath. Okay, let's set our motivation for this meditation. When the mind is calm and quiet, and you feel relaxed and focused, create an altruistic motivation for this meditation session. Think that you are meditating not just for your own individual intellectual or emotional benefit, but you're taking this time now to meditate and develop your mind to reach a state where you can bring benefit to all beings. So as you generate bodhicitta motivation, benefiting all sentient beings, imagine that seated around you are your friends, your family, and seated around them are all sentient beings who, just like you, wish for happiness and wish to avoid any kind of suffering. Bring to your mind that just like you, all these beings suffer in different ways. And again, feel that you are doing this meditation for yourself and also on behalf of all beings. So now visualize or imagine in front of you at the level of your forehead, okay, couple of inches in front of you, about a foot even will do, is a Buddha Shakyamuni. He is made of light, very bright, clear, transparent. Begin with visualizing a large golden throne made of light. On the throne is a white lotus. Then a cushion of sunlight and a cushion of moonlight. These represent the three principal aspects of the path. The lotus represents renunciation. Remember, aspiration to get out of this samsara is renunciation, to become Buddha. The sun cushion represents the wisdom, realizing emptiness, the nature of how things exist. And the moon cushion represents bodhicitta, compassion to benefit all sentient beings. Seated upon the throne, facing you is Shakyamuni Buddha. His holy body is color of fine gold, made of light. He's wearing saffron robes of monk and is sitting in a vajra or full lotus position. The palm of his hands rests on his right knee, with his fingers touching the moon cushion, the right hand, signifying his great control over all delusions. His left hand is in his lap in the posture of meditative concentration, holding an almond bowl filled with nectar, which represents the medicine which can cure all our delusions. Buddha Shakyamuni's face is beautiful and very peaceful. He smiles at you with eyes filled with love and compassion. He has a blue-black hair and an ushnisha. This is a crown protrusion on top, It's a symbol for enlightened mind. Feel very strongly that you are in the presence of enlightened being who understands and accepts you just as you are, and who strongly wishes to help you to reach his state of enlightenment. Visualize that the rays of light are emanating from each pore of Buddha's holy body, reaching every corner of the universe. The rays are actually composed of countless miniature Buddhas, some going out to help living beings, some dissolving back into his body, having completed their work. Now, develop an attitude of taking refuge in the Buddha's enlightened qualities, recognizing that by applying the medicine of Buddha's teachings, we can become enlightened ourselves. And make a request from your heart to the Buddha for his blessings, that you can become free from all negative energy, misconceptions, and develop all the realizations of the path to enlightenment. And feel strongly that your request has been granted. And a stream of purifying white light flows from Buddha's heart and enters your body through the crown of your head. And feel that all negativities have been dispelled, and that you are filled with blissful white light. Now let's recite the mantra Tayatha Om Mune Mune Mahamune Soha. Then make a strong request to Buddha for his blessings, that you can develop all enlightened qualities for the benefit of all sentient beings, which includes yourself. Again, your request has been granted, and a stream of golden light flows from Buddha's heart, entering your crown chakra and bringing the qualities of enlightened body, speech, and mind in form of a golden light. Imagine that your body is completely filled with golden light and that you feel great bliss. Again, let's say the mantra one more time. Tayatha Om Mune Mune Mahamune Soha. Next, visualize that the Buddha Shakyamuni comes to the crown of your head, facing the same direction as you. Then focus on all beings visualized sitting around you and generate love and compassion for them. And as you generate this love and compassion, recite Buddha's mantra and imagine that the rays of light in the nature of wisdom and compassion radiate out of the Buddha's heart to all beings, bringing them all the qualities of enlightened body, speech, and mind. And feel strongly that all their negativities are purified, and that they themselves become perfectly enlightened, experiencing great bliss and wisdom. Lastly, then visualize that the Buddha melts into the pure golden light, which absorbs into you. Imagine your ordinary concept of yourself dissolves, and you become union, oneness with the enlightened body, speech, and mind. One with Buddha's blissful, omniscient mind in the aspect of vast, empty space. Now rest in this blissful space for a few minutes. And now for our dedication. We dedicate the merit of this time to be able to generate at least a pure refuge in the triple gem of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, which are the most precious and meaningful things of all, the most beneficial. And may the positive energy we have generated become a cause for us to generate perfect, unshakable refuge in the triple gem. And on the basis of this, may we be able to intensively, continuously, and correctly practice the entire Buddha Dharma and quickly achieve enlightenment so that we can perfectly benefit all kind of mother sentient beings. Bring your attention to the class. I'd like to show you one slide here. Lama Yeshe says, we use the words, I take refuge or I go for refuge. Lama Yeshe says, no, we have to do refuge every single day, right? You have to do it. So those are the last words I would leave the class with. And I want to thank you for attending the class, and I'm open for any questions if you may have. I hope this was helpful to you and you understand refuge a little better than when we first started the class.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Hammett. Anybody have any final questions or thoughts or comments? Okay, just a reminder that we will start the next class next Monday, the same time. We'll be establishing a daily practice coming good timing right after the refuge module here. So look forward to seeing everyone next Monday to start a new one. Again, I don't know who the teacher will be. We'll all probably find out together. Chris says Robbie is teaching that class. So
Yeah. Okay, great.
okay, good.
Enjoy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for attending this class. Hopefully, we'll all go together.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Good week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Good to see you, Ian.
Thank you, Hammett. Really
Bye-bye.
enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye now.